Welcome to Toffee TV. This video is sponsored by The Athletic, the home to some of the best writers in the world when it comes to all the football goings on. They have dedicated Everton journalists like Paddy Boyland and Greg O'Keefe. If you want to check them out, check the link in the description. At the moment, they've got a 7-day trial free for a week. Go and check it out, and a 50% off offer if you go ahead with that. So make sure you check them out. Some amazing articles all about Everton. Just brilliant. No pop-ups, no nothing. So go and check that out. Obviously, yesterday we told you that it looked like the Merseyside derby was going ahead after the government recommended that everything could carry on as normal. The Premier League came out with a statement saying that's what was going to happen. And then later on that evening, McPartland revealed that he had the coronavirus, and that really started the chain of events then that has seen the Premier League cancelled now till the weekend of the 4th of April. Everton will be due to play Leicester City on the Monday night, but that is the earliest football looks like it's coming back. Obviously, Everton were due to play on Monday night against Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. And obviously we didn't have a game next week, and then we were going into the international break. But football is completely cancelled. And obviously before this announcement was made, Everton had revealed as well that they had a player that had self-isolated, that had the symptoms of coronavirus. That player has not been identified. Finch Farm is on complete lockdown. No one in, no one out. So is the Royal Life Building offices. So is the store at Goodison Park. I'm sure Goodison Park is as well. And the Everton in the community offices on Spellow Lane is in similar. So Everton on complete lockdown for probably the entire weekend. The player will have to self-isolate for a week. There was a bit of confusion at first because the statement revealed that Everton at first sounded like the whole team were having to self-isolate. And obviously when we heard that, it looked like the Merseyside derby was going to be off anyway. But a second press release came out from Everton, a second statement saying it was only one Everton player, and everyone else was fine at that moment. So we've heard no change in that so far. But I think what happened yesterday was there was a lot of focus on stadiums and crowds and these kind of things. And I think the football world forgot, or certainly the football authorities forgot, that there's also players playing who can get it. And I think, once Mikel Arteta said he had it, which he'd probably got it from the Olympiacos owner, the whole of Arsenal then become under quarantine. Hudson-Odoi at Chelsea came out and said he had it. We've had cases, I think, at Watford, at Leicester, during the day as well. And it's going to become more and more. Football players, obviously, by the very nature of what they do, are in very close proximity to each other. And obviously there's a lot of people in a training facility, especially somewhere like Finch Farm, where you've also got the academy and senior players as well, and a lot of people coming through the doors as well. So, no idea who the Everton player is, but obviously this is it now. This is it for at least the 4th of April. So there's an international weekend which all the games look like they're getting called off, and in fact the entire sporting world is going to get called off, isn't it? Really, and everything else is it's going to be a very barren couple of weeks with very little going on, which isn't great if you're a channel dedicated to a team and dedicated to football. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Don't worry. Stick with Toffee TV. We'll have plenty coming up to keep you entertained. Hopefully, as long as. Fingers crossed, me and Baz are okay. So, yeah, the football world has shut down for the time being, which is, 24 hours ago, I think a lot of people in the football world were saying this is stupid, this is ridiculous, the idea of any fixtures taking place over this weekend. And obviously, it wasn't even that common sense has prevailed. It's had to. The amount, the how quickly this virus is spreading, it's common sense. And obviously now we've seen, as we said, all the other major sporting events over the weekend, the Six Nations, the Grand Prix in Australia, all of European football is closed as well. So it makes complete sense that this is happening. And I know, you know, they're going to revisit it before April, but it's what happens between now and then. Do the players train? Well, probably not. For the time being, the players probably won't be training. So can they get up for that game in you know, on that weekend if the virus is gone? The likelihood is the virus won't have gone. And in fact, we're not supposed to be hitting the peak of this virus for another 8 to 12 weeks, which coincides with the end of the season. What does that mean for the end of the season? There is a meeting on Tuesday of UEFA. If UEFA decide that they are going to move the Euros, postpone it for a year, which could possibly happen, because don't forget, this year the Euros is in different locations all over Europe. So lots of people travelling all over the place, a lot of different nationalities coming into contact with each other. And I know that always happens, but at least it always happens in one place. This will be people going all over Europe, travelling. That simply can't happen at the moment, the way things are. So you're going to be spreading it more and more. So if they decide to put the Euros on hold, then maybe the Premier League will say, well, we'll postpone the season for another month, and then we can finish it off in the summer. They did have that meeting this morning, and they were asked whether they wanted to, you know, finish the season completely. Only 2 clubs said they would. One was West Ham, and obviously you can imagine the situation West Ham are, and one was Tottenham, who probably just can't wait to get the season finished now because there's nothing to play for, really. Slightly disappointed Everton didn't, but they were probably just trying to be, you know, in the spirit of things. So simple fact is, nobody knows what's going to happen now. There's a lot of people, you know, saying, well, just finish the season. I think the situation will be the week ahead of those fixtures on the 4th. They'll revisit the situation, see where we are nationally, and then make a decision. And it might be a fact that they delay for another 2 weeks, and then another 2 weeks, and then see if players are training, if they're not training. What is the likelihood of getting the fixtures finished? Because at the moment, this is only really, certainly for Everton, it's only one game delayed. It's only the Merseyside derby. For the following weekend, there's FA Cup games and Premier League games. So at most, at the moment, teams are only going to be missing 2 Premier League games, which most teams will be able to get back by having a midweek fixture, a couple of midweek fixtures. It's how long it goes on for. If it's that weekend and then another weekend and then another weekend, then you're trying to fit 4 or 5 extra games in within, you know, the back end of April into May. Now, obviously, as I said, if the Euros are postponed, then you can drag the season on into June, really, if you need to. But again, I do think the Euros will be cancelled. I just think that the fact that it is all over Europe means that you can't control it. And by delaying it another year, don't forget as well, the World Cup in 2022 is in the December, and that helps obviously, because then you're gonna have a year and a half between the 2 tournaments. So that makes sense as well. There's talk that we could maybe extend this season and then reconvene for a later season for next season, maybe start next season around October, because of that World Cup, that might work out. Again, these things are all going to be there to be discussed. But the bottom line is, between now and the 4th of April, there will be no football, literally no football anywhere, I imagine. Anywhere. There'll be all those internationals. And that's another thing as well. If all those internationals, all those playoffs for the Euros can't be played, well, when do you fit them in? And I think that means that the Euros simply won't happen, which means the Premier League could get extended into June. There you go. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens. But obviously, as I said, Everton is shut down, Finch Farm is shut down, Royal Liver Buildings is shut down, and Everton Community are shut down. But Everton Community are reaching out to people that they deal with every day, people who are elderly, people who are in need, and fans who are, older fans that might be on their own or at most threatened, getting in touch with them. So that's absolutely fantastic from their point of view. Also, the club on tickets are getting in touch with, I've put a statement on the website regarding tickets. All tickets are valid for the Merseyside derby, but if you've got any problems, get in touch with them. I know that there was Evertonians coming over from America for this game, which is a huge blow for them. They're obviously not going to be able to come back for whenever that Merseyside derby is reconvened, if that Merseyside derby is reconvened. And obviously, they're the knock-on effects of this situation. But at the end of the day, it is people's health. It's a situation that no one can control. No one could. This virus is spreading all over the world. No one can stop it, and it is what it is. It will play out how it plays out, and the last thing really we should be worried about is sport at the moment. So there you go. But don't forget, like, Toffee TV isn't going anywhere. We'll come up with shows somehow. Somehow we'll do shows talking about whatever we can talk about. So we're not going anywhere. So if you're stuck at home, you're working from home or whatever, just we'll be here most days. We'll be on live on Patreon every day anyway. Even if there's not anything to talk about in terms of football, we'll find something to talk about. So if you want to join us on there, there you go. There's not much else to talk about today. Cenk Tosun has revealed that he did have the operation on his knee. He's going to be off for a very long time. He said he's going to come back better and stronger. I mean, if the Euros are, what bitter it'll be, obviously for everyone else it's horrible, but for him, if those Euros are postponed, then he has a chance of making those Euros next year, which is, it's weird the way things work out. But there you go. There you go. No more football. What are you going to do with yourselves? There's no football. There's no other sport. All the films are getting pulled from the cinemas. Netflix is going to take an absolute hammer in it, isn't it? On Toffee TV. There's loads of videos. Go and watch them. There's loads of watching. If you want more videos, join us on Patreon. The link is in the description. We'll be finding novel ways to create shows, whether it be watching old season reviews, playing Road to Glory, and just looking ahead to next season and players that we should be interested in. We'll find a way on Toffee TV. Don't forget, check that offer out with The Athletic, a 7-day trial, 50% off on that as well. Click the link if you want to do that. Well worth it. Well worth it. Don't forget, give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want more great videos, join us over on Patreon. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. See you later.